Hey guys. Enjoy. Also remember, this part and part 5 will be 18+, so you were warned. The ride back to Kageyama's house was quiet but satisfying. Kageyama sat in the middle in the back seat, only to cuddle against Tsukishima, who was looking out of the window, deep in thought. The soft snores from Kageyama filled the car, Suga nodding off in the passenger seat. I never would have thought you would like Kageyama, of all people, Daichi spoke from the driver's seat. Tsuki hummed, then looked down at Kags. Neither did I, he responded. Spared them a glance, almost wanting to awe at the loving scene. Does Kageyama knows about Hinata? About him and Kenma? Daichi asked. No, I don't want to break his heart. I'm not that cruel. Tsuki answered, then looked back outside. Daichi smiled. I don't think you'll break his heart. I actually think you'll help him. Daichi said. As Daichi and Suga ate, they watched their juniors dance, kiss, and seemingly get closer. Way past the point of being friendly or testing boundaries. They looked more like lovers. And even when they stopped dancing, he and Suga saw how they constantly had to touch each other. Handing hands, running fingers through the other's hair, or giving each other kisses without hesitation. Daichi hadn't seen that coming from putting two of the headstrong, saltiest players together, only to get sugary sweet romance you would only see in the movies. How so? Tsuki asked. Daichi relaxed. The way Kageyama looked at Tsuki was the way he looked when he was deeply relaxed in a game, but his gaze still held a bit of fear. If Kageyama knew Hinata wasn't available, just maybe he'll think more about Tsukishima and his feelings towards the guy. Just a hunch, Daichi said. Daichi remembered Tsuki telling them that the kissing thing and the relationship change only happened last week, but Tsuki's feelings happened long before then. Kageyama only started questioning it probably since last week, and judging by the way he was looking and clinging to Tsuki, his feelings were happening fast, he was falling fast. Daichi shrugged. That would scare anyone. Especially someone who could hardly show emotions in the first place. Tsuki sighed. Do you think I have a chance with him? I mean, I know he's being nice and sweet and all now, and I want to keep kissing him and such, but I don't know. I don't want things to go back to normal. If it does, I want him to be my boyfriend at least. Tsuki said frustratedly, caused Daichi to chuckle. I'm sure you two will work it out. We're arriving at Kageyama's house. Want a ride home? Daichi offered. No thanks, I have a lot on my mind I want to walk off. And thank you for allowing us to tag along with your date. Tsuki said. No problem. Actually, Suga and I talked and we don't mind if we double date every other month if you two are together. Daichi offered. He stopped the car in front of Kageyama's house. Why? Tsuki questioned. Daichi shook Suga up. Because you and Kageyama are the most closed-off people on our team, thought Kags has been opening up lately. But you hardly open up much unless it's to Yamaguchi. So it's our way of getting to know you two. Daichi explained. Tsuki blushed. Thanks, Tsuki said, then woke up Kageyama. Kageyama yawned and wiped his eyes, Tsuki placing a kiss on his head. We're at your place, Tsuki told him. Kageyama nodded, then smiled at him, which was adorable. They both said goodbye and Tsuki walked Kageyama to the door. Thank you for the date, Tsukishima, K. Sorry. Kageyama said, wiping the rest of his tiredness away. It looked too cute since he was still clinging to the giant panda bear. It's fine. And you're welcome. I had a good time tonight. Maybe we can do this again, but just between me and you. Tsuki offered, Kageyama eyes brightening up at the thought, then looked away. That's if you want to, Tsuki added. I do. I mean, I don't mind. I want to go. Kageyama said, his heart beating hard in his chest. When they stopped at the door, Kageyama looked at Tsuki, who didn't waste time kissing his lips. Tsuki cuffed his cheek and placed a hand on his waist, pulling him closer. Kageyama's hands already gripped his jacket, keeping him close even after Tsuki broke the kiss. You want to be my boyfriend for the night, right? Kageyama asked. Then he let go to unlock his door. I do, Tsuki agreed. Kageyama opened his door. Well, the night is not over yet. So that means you're still my boyfriend until the sun comes up. So, I want you tonight, but Tsuki raced through the door, closing it behind him, then pulling Kageyama to his embrace. Kageyama blushed. Are you sure? Tsuki asked. Kageyama nodded. Yes, but it's my first time. This will be my first time. Kageyama explained. Tsuki couldn't believe it. You're giving me your first time? Are you sure? What about Hinata? Tsuki asked. He has to. He knew when they kiss each other, they both forget their situation. Can you stop bringing up Hinata when this is about the two of us? Hinata this. Hinata that. You don't see me bringing up Yamaguchi every damn time. Kageyama yelled, pushing Tsuki away, then walked towards his room. Tsuki blinked where he was a couple of times before following after he took off his shoes. When he walked into Kageyama's room, he was surprised to see the boy pouting. Why would you bring up Yamaguchi? Tsuki asked. Kageyama glared at him. Because you like Yamaguchi. He yelled. Who said that? Tsuki asked. Kageyama looked ready to punch him. You did. He yelled. Tsuki smirked. No, I didn't. I only ignore it whenever you brought up Yamaguchi. I never said yes when you assumed I did. Tsuki explained. Kageyama thought back and realized that he was right. So he did the mature thing and turned his back to Tsuki on the bed in embarrassment. Tsuki chuckled. And besides, he's dating Yachi. Have been during the past 2 months. Tsuki told him, starting to see Kageyama's neck turn red. So, you're single? Kageyama asked timidly. Tsuki walked up to the bed. Yes, he answered. And I'm single, Kageyama stated. But you like Hinata, Tsuki reminded him. Kageyama looked at him in confusion. I do. He asked. Tsuki blinked at him. Did Kageyama forgot his own crush? Tsuki smirked while Kageyama blushed, suddenly remembering it. He looked away in shock, then laid down on the bed, face buried into the pillow as if trying to suffocate himself. Tsuki took off his jacket and threw it onto the floor. Then he climbed onto the bed and over Kageyama, his body hovering, not quite touching. Tobio, do you have another crush that making you forget your crush on Hinata? Tsuki asked knowingly. Kageyama peeked at him. Maybe, Kageyama answered. Tsuki dropped his hips, his front resting on Kageyama's rear. Am I making you forget about Hinata? Tsuki asked. Kageyama pouted. Don't flatter yourself, he told Tsuki, though Tsuki didn't take it to heart. Instead, he chuckled. I won't. Instead, I'll prove to you why you should be with me instead of him. Like a good boyfriend. Tsuki told him. Kageyama glared at him. You're the worst, he stated. Tsuki kissed his cheek. Sure. Kageyama couldn't believe it. He sorta, kinda, maybe confessed to Tsukishima about having feelings for him. Even worse, he forgot about his feelings for Hinata. He even got mad about Tsuki bringing him up. He felt a little guilty, but he really couldn't when Tsuki was grinding against his butt and was pressing kisses onto his back. Wait. Why am I a bottom? Kageyama shouted, his face red. He looked at Tsuki, who had a satisfying smile on his face. So many questions. I don't know, but you are very responsive to my grinding. Tsuki mentioned. Okay, so he did grind back. It felt good, okay. That doesn't make me a bottom, Kageyama commented. Tsuki rolled his eyes and flopped down next to him on his back, then pulled Kageyama to straddle him, which meant Kageyama couldn't hide his face in a pillow. Once he sat up, he stiffened when he could feel a bulge in Tsuki's pants. There, now you are on top. Better now? Tsuki asked. Kags looked between his legs. You're hard, he stated. Yes, Tsuki answered. Because of me? Kageyama asked. Tsuki sat up, Kageyama wrapping his arms around Tsuki. It's hard not to. Move your hips slowly. Tsuki told him. Kags did so, taking a sharp breath at the feel of their bulges rubbing together. He closed his eyes to savor the moment, Tsuki pressing kisses on his face. Tsuki's hands slid from his hips to his waist, his fingers slipping under Kageyama's shirt. Want me to take off your shirt? He asked. Kags nodded. All right, don't stop. You're doing so well. Are you feeling good? He asked. Yes, Kageyama answered, though he sounded breathless. Are you? He asked. Tsuki kissed his jaw. Yes, I am, he answered. He found it cute that Kageyama really telling the truth about this being his first time, the way he asked and his unsure movements were adorable. Tsuki already had his first a long time ago with Yams, but this time with Kageyama was purer. He was going to take his time with Kags. Can I take off your shirt too? Kageyama asked. Tsuki nodded, reaching the last button of Kageyama's button-up. With a little help, Kageyama slipped off his button-up and t-shirt. Then he reached for Tsuki's shirt, toying at the hem before sliding the shirt upwards and over Tsuki's head. Kageyama never thought about Tsuki's naked body before, but looking at it now made it more real. They were going to have sex. Well, he was sure Tsuki would stop if Kageyama told him, but still, they were going to have sex. He touched Tsuki's chest and shivered. It was so warm and he could feel his heart beating very fast. Your heart, it's racing, Kageyama said. Tsuki placed a hand on Kageyama's chest. So are yours, he said. Kageyama smiled, glad he wasn't the only one feeling this way, feeling excited, and maybe nervous, though Tsuki looked calm to him. That's because my heart is yours. So that means if your heart is beating fast, mine is too. Kageyama said. Tsuki was already thinking about marrying this guy, the idiot. Stop saying stupid things, Tsuki said out of embarrassment, then flipped their positions over to be on top. Before Kageyama could complain, Tsuki kissed him with passion. His tongue teased Kageyama's lips until the boy opened up for Tsuki to claim his mouth. Kageyama moaned, feeling Tsuki's body on his own, his thrust a lot harder than before, his bulge bigger than earlier. He felt hands traveled up and down his body until one hand finally touched his bulge and stroked him through his pants. Kageyama broke the kiss with a gasp, Tsuki moving his lips down his neck. He openly kissed it, then took a lick to taste the boy under him. Kageyama shivered. Kageyama moaned, as his hand on Tsuki's shoulders. He raised his hips to get more pressure from Tsuki's hand, the light pressure only teasing him. Tsuki hummed, kissing a sensitive spot on Kageyama's neck, then bite and suck the area, hearing Kageyama cry out from under him, his hips bucking. Kageyama yelled, exposing his neck for Tsuki to continue. He had his eyes shut, his hands squeezing Tsuki's shoulders, and his legs wrapped around Tsuki's hip. His pants were getting unbearably tight. I want my pants off. And yours. I wanna touch you. Kageyama demanded. Tsuki kissed the growing hickey on Kageyama before sitting up. Kageyama's eyes were dilated, his breathing labored, and his face looked close to begging. It was a beautiful sight, but he wanted more. He could actually get more. Whatever you want, my king, Tsuki said, Kageyama looking away at the nickname. It really shouldn't have turned him on like that. But it did. And Tsuki knew it.